In this video, we'll talk a bit about how we're going to use an online resource in order to do the histology lab. Sadly, because of course, the age of COVID, it's really difficult for us to get in there and use the microscopes in a very intensive way where we have to share them back and forth, which is typically what we do in non-pandemic days. But this site, histologyguide.com, offers an excellent alternative for us to use. So this is largely going to be an activity driven by you, using your lab book and using the slides presented here. Now, we can start off by just doing a little overview of the site. So it's histologyguide.com. There is a link on our web page that you should see there. And what we're going to do is we're going to go from the home page and just move to the slide box. And you notice when we get to the slide box that we have a number of options. They have types of tissue. That's worth reviewing. I would start there, and it will just talk about some really basics about the various tissues, just so you have a sense as to what are some of the general features that we see in these tissues. And then I would come back, and this is where we really want to focus our time, is that we really want to have a look at these right here. So under cells and tissues, these are the general classes of tissues. And let's take, say, epithelium, hop right into epithelium. You'll see that there's an excellent description, and I would spend time reading through here. It gives you a lot of the basics that you would require to understand histology. And then, of course, over here, just here's sort of some hot links if you wanted to hop to connective tissue or muscle, etc. But let's stay on this page. And it talks about some of the generalities about apical surfaces, basement membranes, glands. And then we actually get into the slides. And let's take the example of epithelium. There's a number of major subtypes like simple squamous, simple cuboidal, simple columnar, and pseudostratified. And the nice thing is that they have a number of examples of each one. So let's just have a quick look at simple epithelial. So when you click on it, you'll see that there's a description of the tissue over on the right-hand side. And then down below, we have a number of controls. We can select 10 times, 20 times, 40 times, plus we also have a slide bar. In this case, we really want to focus in on having a look at simple squamous epithelium. It's one of the main types that we have to know. So they actually have a little bit of a hot link. You can click on it. So just let you know what we're looking at here, this tissue over here on the left, they did a little diagram. This is actually a glomerulus, which is from the kidneys. And you can see right here, they pointed out where we want to look. And so here is the glomerulus. That's basically a bundle of blood vessels that you find in the kidneys. And here's the tissue we want to look at right here, this very thin layer right around here, and they've highlighted it with arrows. Also, you could click on it because they do have these hot links that will often bring you to where you want to be. So this is going to be one of your main challenges, is trying to figure out what I'm supposed to look at, but luckily most of the times this site will actually point to it. And so you notice this, in this case, it's simple squamous epithelium, which means it's one layer thick. That's what simple tells us. And squamous tells it it's flattened. So those are the flattened ones. They also have a really nice feature that often they will show you electron micrographs. So we could click on that, and you can actually see, we're looking at an electron micrograph here, and let's change it to color. You can even switch it to color. And here what they've done is the blood vessels are no longer there. They've been removed. But here is the sort of layer in blue. And you can see it in electron microscopy. Let's just return to where we were. So that's simple squamous. Let's just have a look at one more, just so we get the hang of it. Now, you can work your way through the rest of these. They're just other examples of the simple squamous. Then the simple cuboidal, you'd want to go have a look at. And once again, you can click on it, and you have all your controllers down here. And we could just even go straight to it here. Let's click on it, simple cuboidal epithelium. And it's really going to zoom us in. Once again, it's a mixture of cell types and tissues. Use the descriptions that are in your book. Keep your textbook beside you and look at what should I be looking for. So the name simple cuboidal tells us that it's one layer thick, and it should be kind of square looking, almost like a cube. The name makes sense. And yes, indeed, this is simple cuboidal right up here. All right. Don't get confused by the material down here. That's a completely different type of tissue. That's actually more of that's a connective tissue that we can see down here. And go through the examples. This is really about you spending time with your lab book, with your textbook, getting a mental image. What should this material look like? And then actually getting into this slide guide and getting a really good sense. There's no quick way to do histology and come up to speed. It's really about looking at a number of slides, going back and looking at them. And as I said, this is largely going to be a self-driven activity. We may be able to look at a few in class together to get a better sense, but this is going to be driven by you. Okay, so good luck with it. It's actually not as bad as it seems. Once you get a sense as to what a tissue looks like, you will get better and better very quickly at doing this. Okay, enjoy, and we'll chat soon.